Namaste, Swagatam, Vanakkam. Greeting each and every one of you who are joining me this morning for this session. A session that is starting off the new year in Tamil Nadu. This part of India, we celebrate our new year today, 14th of April. And I hope that this year, this new year for all of us, will enable a transformation to happen from within. Let's start with the Guru Gayatri. Tadparamparaya vidmahi Jnanalingeshwaraya dhimahi Tanno Guruhu Prachodayate Om Yoga Dr. Swami Gitananda Guru Maharaj ki Jai. We have been looking at the concept of mudra over the past few sessions. And the bigger concept and context of this discussion is the Pranava Pranayama. The Pranava Pranayama in which we are breathing in a certain pattern. We are making very potent bija sounds, seed sounds. And we are attuning ourselves to the cosmic divine vibration of the universe through the Pranava. We have been looking at the concept that we can breathe into the low, mid, and upper parts of our lungs, focusing the mind. And when we focus the mind, the energy flows into those areas in abundance. The mind is an amazing tool. In fact, the mind is such a tool that it is both a blessing and a curse. You know, when we talk about foresight, people often say blessed with foresight. I say it is cursed with foresight. Because when you have foresight and nobody else can see it, they consider you to be mad. And so all the great people, everyone who has been blessed with foresight in human history has been considered crazy, dangerous, and most probably eliminated at the earliest. Be it the Greek philosophers who said the truth, or the scientists in medieval Europe who either were executed or thrown into the dungeon like Galileo. And then, of course, we just celebrated Good Friday and Easter. One of those greatest guys on this planet who spoke what was to be spoken and was considered dangerous because of foresight. So when you have foresight, it is very important to also have another important quality, and that is keep quiet. It is very important that sometimes we keep quiet, something that is very tough to me because I talk a lot. I think, our spiritual and physical genetics of this lineage, it is said Kanakananda Swami, my father's guru, used to talk days on end. And then my father was the same. He would go on and on and on and on. I have imbibed that, and now my son also, if you get him going at times, you have to be careful because he never stops. We say we have an on button, we don't have an off button. And that is just something that is there. Sometimes we have to keep quiet. So as I was saying, it is not blessed with foresight, but it is cursed with foresight because nobody else sees it. So if nobody else can see what you can see, either they call you crazy and send you to the psychiatrist. See, the moment you go to a psychiatrist, you cannot be labeled normal because you have gone to them, right? So they have to find something wrong with you. And each and every one of us is already essentially bipolar. The whole universe is bipolar, whether we like it or not. Purusha Prakriti, Ida Pingala, Hata, Loma, Viloma, Surya, Chandra, anions, cations, electrons, protons, name it, we are already essentially bipolar. So all you have to do is go to a psychiatrist and you get labeled, and then everybody can be happy. They can say he is just a weirdo. Okay, so I think sometimes we have to be careful about that. But just coming back, we are today celebrating New Year in this part of the world, and depending on how you perceive it, a new year can be considered a new start. So maybe it is a new start to some journey someplace else. We have been talking about the power of mudra, and we have seen Chin Mudra, we have seen Chinmaya Mudra and Adi Mudra. Three mudras we have seen. Chin Mudra focusing the breathing primarily into the lower part of the lungs. I am very consciously using these words primarily because, as I said, scientifically, when you breathe, air will go into all parts of the lungs. And we are not trying to trace the air particle with radioisotopes. The idea is that you want to generate a sense of consciousness, awareness, mindfulness. And that is the base of yoga. Mindfulness is the base of yoga. If it is not mindful, it is not yoga. So mindless yoga is an oxymoron, but it is found a lot. Okay? Mindless yoga. It should be mindfulness. There's a huge market of mindfulness these days. Mindfulness is the essence of yoga. Okay? So you have to be full of mind, which means that, of course, the goal of yoga is to transcend mind. That's a different story. But you have to first be aware of mind, and then you have to transcend it. So the first part is the lower part of the lungs in Adam Pranayama using Chin Mudra, Madhyam Pranayama using the Chinmaya Mudra, and Adyam Pranayama using the Adi Mudra. And when you use the Chin Mudra, you are energizing the whole lower part of the body, the abdominopelvic region, the lower limb. When you work on the Madhyam Pranayama, you are energizing and helping the energy flow in the whole region of the thorax. So the heart, the lungs, the thymus, the great blood vessels, well, all of this is worked on, energized from within. When you work on the upper chest, the Adyam Pranayama, what you are doing is that you're energizing and enabling the unblocking of the energy flows into the head and the neck region. Now comes the fourth component. When we do the pranava or we do the vibhaga, what we need to do is bring them all together. So bringing things together is called yoga. Yoga is based on coming together. The union, communion, reunion, all of this is yoga. So what we are doing here is that the lower, mid and upper parts, Chin, Chinmaya, Adi, Stula, Sukshma, Karana, all those trinities that I was talking about some classes ago, we are bringing them all together in a grand union. So it's called Mahat Yoga. Maha. Maha means grand. Yoga is union, the grand union. And the grand union is happening. And for this, what we do is that we are going to be using a mudra that is a modification of the Adi Mudra. And the two Adi Mudras in this case are brought together at the navel. The navel center is a very important center for this. So both the Adi Mudras are brought together at the navel. And here, if you watch, you'll see that the knuckles are touching. It is not like this. It is not like this. And, people have ended up with a lot of stuff in this. Both the knuckles should be touching. It should be at the navel. It's a little difficult, but just because it's difficult, it doesn't mean you don't do it, okay? You have to make some effort, at least once in a while, and get off the couch and stop eating potato chips and watching television once in a while, okay? So what we are doing here is, we are performing the Brahma Mudra, which is also called Mahat Yoga Mudra. So there are two names for this mudra, Brahma Mudra and Mahat Yoga Mudra. Why is it called Mahat Yoga Mudra? Because this mudra enables the grand union to take place. The grand union between the three components of our lungs, low, mid, high, Adama, Madhyama, Adhyama, the three components of our body, the low, mid and upper parts of the body, and then the three aspects of existence, gross, subtle and causal. All of this is happening when you perform this. So Mahat Yoga Mudra, the gesture that enables the grand union, a unified state of being to manifest. That is how the Mahat Yoga Mudra is. And it's also called the Brahma Mudra. Now this creates confusion because we have a Brahma Mudra where we move the head to the 4 directions. And this is also Brahma. People say, oh my God, it has the same name. Well, you have places with the same name in Europe and in America and in Australia. But then you know that this is South Wales in Australia. You start to understand that each place you have a few more fine-tuning understanding. In India, we have so many people called the same name. So many people called Ananda. But then, you have to identify. That is why in Indian rituals, we tell the person's star, the nakshatra, the zodiac sign, the rasi, and the name. And also sometimes the gotra, which is the family lineage. 4 components for identifying the individual. Because everybody has the same name. So many people are born on the same star. So you have to get all these factors together. So if you get confused, this is Brahma Mudra, this is also Brahma Mudra. What you do, you say this is the Hasta Mudra called Brahma Mudra. Is the Hasta. Hasta is hands. So it is the Brahma Mudra done with the hands. That is another way to identify. Why Brahma? You see, Brahma is the energy of creativity. Brahma is the Trinity aspect who is the creator. It is the creative principle. That is why in Brahma Charya, we are trying to live. We are trying to live in tune with the creative principle. It has got mutated into other meaning, but that's a different issue. That's not my talk today. Brahmacharya is when you are attuning and living in tune with your own creative principle. So Brahma is the creative principle. This creative principle, the best way to focus on it is the navel center. So, when people joke about navel gazing or belly gazing, they're not too much off track. This navel center is the center through which you, I, and every living being got created from the mother. Because in the mother's womb, we were nourished and supported, and all the guidance for how we were to be created came through the umbilical cord that was connected at the navel. And that is why Patanjali tells us, if you want to understand your whole arrangement, he says, focus on the navel center. Nabhi Chakre, he says, if you focus, do samyama, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, on the navel center, Nabhi Chakre, Kaya Vyuha Jnanam. Kaya is your whole body. Vyuha is all the intricate arrangement. Jnanam is you attain the knowledge and the wisdom of it. You come to know every detail of how you have been created and arranged and organized when you focus on the navel center. That is the connection of this center. And this is the center through which we are connected to the solar system, to the universe in which we live as a solar being. That is why this area used to have the name solar plexus. Solar plexus, it is your solar cells for the solar being who is attuning with the solar system, the universe in which we live. Now this is also said to be, the navel center is also the place in Lord Vishnu from where a lotus is said to come, and on that lotus, Lord Brahma is said to have been born. This is the metaphoric explanation you find in Indian culture for this. So the navel center very much associated with creativity, attuning to the creative principle. So when we perform the 2 Adi Mudras and bring them together at the navel area, we are performing Brahma Mudra or the Mahat Yoga Mudra. And when we do this, we are able to then focus our mind inwardly, low, mid, and high. And as we breathe out, we can then bring together all the 3 components. The A, Akara, U, Ukara, Ma, Makara. Akara, Ukara, Makara comes together to become Omkara, the A, U, Ma. A, U, Ma of Indian culture. Amen of Christianity. Ameen of Islam. You find it in all cultures. Just like you have to be open to the resonance of different frequencies, and then you realize they're all actually the same station, just they have been tuned a little bit differently. Okay, they're all the same station ultimately. So let us perform this, bringing the 2 Adi Mudras together at the navel center. Breathing out. Breathing in low, mid, and high. And now breathing out. Again breathing in low, mid, high. Breathing out. Once more, breathing in low, mid, high. And breathing out. Contemplate the beautiful sense of oneness, integration, cohesiveness between all aspects of our being, the lower, mid and upper parts of the lungs being unified through this mudra and the Mahat Yoga pranayama. The three parts of our body, the lower, middle and upper parts, getting integrated through the energy that has been focused through the mind and the mindfulness, and the sense of awareness between the gross, subtle and causal layers of our existence. And in our nervous system, the old reptilian complex, the mammalian, and the humane complex, all of them starting to have a sense of integration and oneness, where they can all correspond in a very non-violent, cohabitative, cooperative, symbiotic, harmonious manner. Rub your palms together, generating some heat. Let the heat come onto the eyes, the forehead, and the head. We have been over the last few days looking at the different mudras that are used in the pranava. We will be exploring this further in days to come. We have looked at the Chin, Chinmaya, Adi, and the Brahma Mudra, and how each of these is utilized in this practice. We'll take this further, but I'll be back in a few moments for the synchronized global prayer. So come back, be with me, and let's have another wonderful session together.